Why does the FDA allow the same chemical in your breakfast bacon that it allows in antifreeze and industrial metalwork fluids? Sodium phosphate is used in bacon to retain moisture, increase weight, and improve texture. It is also used in metal cleaning, water treatment, and as a component in industrial degreasers. Sodium nitrite, the compound that gives bacon its pink color, is simultaneously classified as a food additive by the FDA and as a hazardous substance by OSHA. When that sodium nitrite is exposed to the high heat of a frying pan, it reacts with the amino acids in the meat to form nitrosamines, compounds the World Health Organization, WHO, classifies as known carcinogens. The WHO placed processed meat, including bacon, in the same Group 1 cancer risk category as tobacco smoking, asbestos, and plutonium. Not because eating a strip of bacon is as dangerous as smoking a cigarette, but because the evidence that processed meat causes colorectal cancer meets the same standard of scientific certainty. Each additional 50 grams of processed meat consumed per day, roughly 2 to 3 strips of bacon, increases colorectal cancer risk by 18%. Americans consume approximately 18 pounds of bacon per person each year. That is roughly 5.4 billion pounds of bacon annually across the nation. And virtually every strip of conventional bacon sold in the United States contains sodium nitrite, the precursor to the carcinogenic nitrosamines that the World Health Organization identified as the primary mechanism of cancer causation. The EU reassessed sodium nitrite in 2017 and set stricter limits on its use in processed meat. France's Food Safety Authority, ANSES, confirmed in 2022 the positive association between nitrite-treated processed meat and colorectal cancer risk. Consumer advocacy groups in France have gathered over 500,000 signatures demanding a ban on nitrite additives. Traditional cured meats like Parma ham and Bayonne ham have been produced for centuries without synthetic nitrites, proving that alternatives exist. In the United States, the meat processing industry has spent over $97 million on lobbying since 1998, according to Open Secrets. The FDA has not restricted sodium nitrite. The USDA has not mandated warning labels, and the last safety review of BHA, a preservative found in many bacon products, was conducted in 1977. Today, we are examining 16 bacon brands and the regulatory system that allows a Group 1 carcinogen to be a staple of the American breakfast table without a single warning label, without nitrite restriction, and without meaningful regulatory reassessment in nearly 50 years. Let us follow the money, brand by brand, loophole by loophole. Number 16. Great Value Bacon, Walmart's store brand, and the private label commodity sourcing loophole. Great Value is among the cheapest bacon brands available in America. Walmart contracts production to third-party processors whose identities are not disclosed on the label. The ingredient list includes cured with water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. That is 3 separate sodium compounds, plus salt. The consumer pays the lowest possible price and receives a product engineered for shelf life, water retention, and color rather than quality. At Walmart's price point, the pork belly that becomes the bacon comes from the most industrialized operations in the commodity supply chain. The cows may be treated with Ractopamine, a growth promoter banned in 160 countries including the entire European Union, China, and Russia, but still legal in American pork production. The label says bacon. The ingredients say something considerably more complex. The regulatory system does not require anyone to explain the difference. Number 15. Smithfield Hometown. Original Bacon is owned by Smithfield Foods, which is owned by WH Group, the largest pork processor in the world, headquartered in China. There is a foreign ownership transparency gap. Smithfield is the world's largest pork company. In 2013, WH Group, formerly Shuanghui International, acquired Smithfield for approximately $4.7 billion. Smithfield's bacon contains water, sugar, salt, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. A consumer buying Smithfield bacon in an American grocery store sees a heritage American pork brand. Corporate decisions about sourcing, processing, and additive usage are made by a Chinese multinational. The label communicates none of this. Smithfield controls a vast network of hog farms, processing plants, and distribution operations across the United States. The consolidation of the American pork supply chain under foreign ownership raises questions about food sovereignty that the labeling system does not address. Number 14. Oscar Mayer bacon, owned by Kraft Heinz. The naturally hardwood smoked marketing loophole. Oscar Mayer's naturally hardwood smoked bacon is marketed with language that implies tradition and simplicity. The ingredient list includes sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, and sodium erythorbate. The word naturally in the product name refers to the smoking method, not to the ingredients. A consumer reading naturally hardwood smoked may infer that the product is free of artificial additives. It is not. The regulatory system permits the word naturally to describe a single aspect of production, while the rest of the product contains the same synthetic preservatives found in other conventional bacon. The marketing creates an impression of purity. The ingredient list tells a different story. The gap between the two is precisely calibrated to influence the consumer without violating any labeling law. Number 13. Hormel Black Label Bacon and the dextrose corn sugar loophole. Hormel's Black Label is one of the most popular bacon brands in America. Its ingredient list includes sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrite, and dextrose. Dextrose is corn sugar, a refined sweetener with a high glycemic index. When consumed in excess, added sugars like dextrose contribute to weight gain, heart disease, and other chronic conditions. The addition of sugar to bacon serves no nutritional purpose. It aids in the Maillard reaction during cooking, and it enhances flavor perception. Consumers do not expect sugar in their bacon. The industry adds it because it is cheap, because it enhances browning, and because the regulatory system permits it without prominent disclosure. Hormel Foods reported net sales exceeding $12.7 billion. Their lobbying operation ensures that the additives in their products remain unregulated. Number 12. Wright Brand Bacon, also owned by Tyson Foods, and the thick-cut premium marketing loophole. Wright Brand positions itself as a premium bacon with thick-cut slices and heritage branding that evokes traditional smokehouse quality. The ingredient list includes the same sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, and sugar found in budget brands. The premium is in the thickness of the cut and the marketing, not in the absence of controversial additives. The consumer paying a premium for Wright Brand receives a thicker slice with the same chemical curing profile as the cheapest bacon on the shelf. The regulatory system does not require premium brands to meet different additive standards than budget brands. Premium is a marketing claim. The ingredient list is the reality. The two have no legally required relationship to each other. Number 11. Farmland Bacon is owned by Smithfield Foods and WH Group. This is about the Smithfield portfolio concentration loophole. Farmland is another brand in the Smithfield empire alongside Smithfield, Eckrick, Armour, Nathan's Famous, and dozens of others. The consumer looking at Farmland and Smithfield side by side on the shelf perceives two different companies. They are the same company. They share the same supply chain, the same processing standards, and the same Chinese parent company. Consolidation of the American pork industry means that apparent brand diversity masks corporate concentration. The consumer makes a choice between labels. The industry makes a choice between marketing strategies for the same product from the same facilities. Number 10. Kirkland Signature Bacon from Costco and the bulk format sodium concentration loophole. Kirkland Signature Bacon is sold in large packages at warehouse club prices. The thick-cut format means each slice contains more sodium, more nitrite, and more phosphate per serving than thinner alternatives. Nutritionists have identified Kirkland bacon as one of the highest sodium bacon options on the market. The bulk purchasing model encourages consumption in larger quantities. The thicker slices deliver more preservatives per strip. The warehouse club price creates an illusion of value that does not account for the health cost of the additives consumed at scale. The consumer buys more, eats more, and is exposed to more nitrite per serving than they would be with a thinner product. The packaging format incentivizes precisely the consumption pattern that the World Health Organization identified as increasing cancer risk. Number 9. Kunzler Bacon, the caramel coloring and cornstarch filler loophole. Kunzler's Black Forest sliced bacon contains ingredients that go beyond the standard bacon additive list, including gelatin, cornstarch, and caramel coloring. Cornstarch is a refined carbohydrate used as a filler. Caramel coloring, depending on the manufacturing process, can contain 4-methylimidazole, a compound that California's Proposition 65 has identified as a potential carcinogen. Gelatin is an animal-derived binding agent more commonly associated with candy than cured meat. The presence of these ingredients in bacon raises the question of what the consumer is actually paying for. When a product labeled bacon contains cornstarch filler, caramel coloring, and gelatin, alongside the standard nitrites and phosphates, the word bacon is doing a lot of work that the ingredient list does not support. Number 8. Jamestown brand bacon, the sodium double hit loophole. Jamestown bacon contains both sodium nitrate and sodium phosphate, two additives with documented health concerns. Sodium phosphate in excess has been linked to cardiovascular risks and kidney stress, particularly in individuals with pre-existing conditions. Combined with the sodium nitrite that is standard in conventional bacon, the consumer is exposed to a triple sodium load from salt, phosphate, and nitrite in a single product. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. A single serving of conventional bacon can deliver 10 to 15% of that limit. When the bacon is paired with other processed foods throughout the day, the cumulative sodium exposure exceeds what any single product suggests on its label. The FDA evaluates each additive in isolation, and the consumer eats them all at once. Number 7. Bar S bacon and the race to the bottom. Bar S competes on price across every processed meat category, and their bacon is no exception. The ingredient list mirrors the cheapest possible formulation: water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrite. The pork comes from the commodity supply chain. The price reflects maximum cost reduction at every stage. Bar S is a brand that exists because the regulatory system permits a floor this low. When every additive is legal, when no warning label is required, and when no nitrite restriction exists, the economic incentive is to produce the cheapest possible product that still meets the technical definition of bacon. Bar S is not an outlier. Bar S is the system working as designed for the lowest possible price point. Number 6. Dietz & Watson bacon and the imported gourmet marketing loophole. Dietz & Watson's hickory-smoked imported gourmet bacon trades on the words imported and gourmet. Its ingredient list includes sodium phosphate and sodium erythorbate. A consumer paying a premium for gourmet imported bacon expects superior quality and perhaps fewer additives. The product contains the same synthetic preservatives found in budget brands. The word gourmet has no legally enforceable federal definition for bacon or any other processed meat product. Any bacon manufacturer can call their product gourmet without meeting any specific quality standard beyond the baseline USDA requirements that apply to all bacon. The premium price reflects premium marketing. The ingredients reflect the industry standard. Number 5. Applegate Naturals, Sunday Bacon, and the celery juice nitrate loophole. Applegate is one of the most widely recommended uncured bacon brands. Their products are labeled no nitrates or nitrites added except for those naturally occurring in sea salt and celery powder. The celery juice loophole is the clean label industry's most significant deception. Celery juice powder is naturally rich in nitrates. During processing, those nitrates convert to nitrites, producing the same chemical effect as synthetic sodium nitrite. Research from Tufts University confirms that there is no evidence that nitrates from celery juice behave differently in the body than synthetic nitrates. A study cited by WebMD found that bacon labeled nitrite-free contained more than double the nitrate levels of conventional bacon. There is no federal regulation limiting how much celery juice can be added to processed meat. Consumers read no nitrates added and believe they are avoiding the carcinogen risk. The chemistry in their stomach does not read labels. Nitrosamine formation is identical, regardless of whether the nitrite came from a laboratory or a celery plant. Number 4. Turkey bacon brands, including Butterball and Oscar Mayer. Turkey bacon is marketed as a healthier, lower-fat alternative to pork bacon. Many turkey bacon products contain the same sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, and added sugars found in conventional pork bacon. The lower fat content does not eliminate the nitrosamine formation risk, because the nitrite is still present, and cooking temperatures still trigger the chemical reaction. The World Health Organization Group 1 classification applies to all processed meat, not just pork. Turkey bacon that has been cured with nitrites is processed meat by the World Health Organization definition. A consumer who switches from pork bacon to turkey bacon believing they are reducing their cancer risk may be consuming the same nitrite levels in a product that simply has less fat. The fat was never the carcinogen, the nitrite was, and turkey bacon has plenty of it. Number 3. Store brand bacon from Kroger, Aldi, Target, and Dollar General. This is the contract manufacturing opacity loophole. Store brand bacon from every major retailer is manufactured by third-party processors whose identities are undisclosed to consumers. The FDA and the USDA do not require store brand products to identify their contract manufacturer. A consumer buying Kroger brand bacon may be purchasing product from the same Smithfield facility that produces Smithfield, Farmland, and Armour bacon. The label is different. The supply chain may be identical. The price is lower. The question of whether the quality is also lower is one the consumer cannot answer, because the information that would allow the comparison is deliberately withheld. Number 2. McCormick bacon pieces and artificial bacon products and the zero bacon loophole. McCormick bacon pieces, the popular bacon-flavored topping for baked potatoes and salads, contains zero bacon. It is made from texturized soy flour, canola oil, salt, caramel color, and artificial flavoring. The product uses the word bacon in its branding while containing no bacon whatsoever. The FDA permits this as long as the product does not claim to be bacon. The packaging features imagery and naming that strongly associates the product with bacon. The ingredient list reveals it is a soy-based manufactured product with artificial flavor and color. The consumer who sprinkles bacon pieces on their food believing they are adding bacon is adding an industrial product that has never been near a pig. The regulatory system permits the brand name because it is technically a flavor descriptor, not a product claim. The consumer reads bacon. The ingredients say otherwise. Number 1. The United States Department of Agriculture and the Food and Drug Administration, the agencies that allow Group 1 carcinogens in your breakfast without a warning label. The World Health Organization classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. Bacon is the most commonly consumed processed meat in the American breakfast. The United States has responded to this classification with no warning labels, no nitrite restrictions, no additive reassessment, and no consumer education campaign. The European Union set stricter nitrite limits after reassessing the evidence. France confirmed the cancer link through its National Food Safety Authority. Consumer advocacy groups across Europe are pushing for nitrite bans. Traditional European producers have demonstrated for centuries that bacon and ham can be cured without synthetic nitrites. The USDA permits sodium nitrite as a color fixative and preservative in bacon without restriction. BHA, classified as a possible human carcinogen, was last reviewed in 1977 and remains legal in processed meat. Ractopamine, a growth promoter banned in 160 countries, remains legal in American pork production. The meat processing industry has spent $97 million on lobbying since 1998. Tyson Foods spent $1.6 million on lobbying in 2025. The industry has given 79% of its political contributions to Republicans since 1990. The result is a breakfast staple that contains a precursor to Group 1 carcinogens, possible human carcinogen preservatives, growth promoters banned across most of the world, 3 separate sodium compounds plus salt, added sugar, and in some cases cornstarch filler and caramel coloring. All of this is legal. All of it is disclosed in small print on the back of the package, and none of it is accompanied by a warning label despite the World Health Organization classification that places bacon's cancer risk in the same evidentiary category as tobacco. What is the alternative when your government will not protect you? You protect yourself. Peterson's Natural Farms, based in Hamilton, Texas, produces no sugar, certified humane bacon with no nitrites, nitrates, MSG, or artificial preservatives. Their pork is raised without antibiotics or added hormones on pasture-based farms. Naked Bacon, a small batch producer, makes bacon with zero sugar, no nitrates, no nitrites, no chemical curing solutions, no celery, no phosphates, and no added water. They use traditional dry curing and smoking methods that the industrial bacon system abandoned decades ago. Their product is 44% lower in fat and 25% lower in sodium than conventional bacon. Applegate Organic Sunday Bacon uses organic pork raised without antibiotics or synthetic hormones, although their celery powder curing method still produces nitrites through a natural pathway. It is a better choice than conventional bacon, but it is not a nitrite-free choice regardless of what the label implies. Organic Prairie, the meat brand of the Organic Valley Cooperative, offers USDA organic bacon from pasture-raised pigs without synthetic preservatives, antibiotics, or added hormones. North Country Smokehouse, based in Claremont, New Hampshire, produces organic applewood smoked uncured bacon with minimal ingredients and without synthetic nitrites or phosphates. Welshire Farms produces dry-cured bacon with no added nitrates, no added nitrites, and no antibiotics. Their products use maple sugar for curing and avoid the synthetic preservative cocktail found in conventional brands. These producers prove that making bacon without synthetic nitrites, without phosphates, without added sugar, without mechanically processed pork, and without growth promoters banned across most of the developed world is commercially viable. The mainstream brands choose additives because they are cheaper, because they extend shelf life, because they maximize water retention and weight, and because the regulatory system permits every single one of them without consequence or warning. When shopping for bacon, read the ingredient list before you choose a brand. Avoid sodium nitrite and sodium nitrate in any form. Be skeptical of products labeled uncured or labeled no nitrates added that use celery juice powder, because the nitrosamine formation pathway is identical. Avoid products listing sodium phosphate, which is used to inject water into the meat and increase the package weight you pay for. Look for bacon with short ingredient lists, ideally just pork, salt, and smoke. Look for USDA organic certification, which prohibits synthetic preservatives and growth promoters. Buy from producers who disclose their farming practices and curing methods. Understand that the pink color of conventional bacon is not the color of cooked pork. It is the color of sodium nitrite. Without it, your bacon would be brown. The industry chose pink over your health. The regulatory system allowed it. The WHO classified the result as a Group 1 carcinogen, while the United States put no warning on the package. Let me be direct about what this investigation has revealed. The WHO classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. Bacon is the most commonly consumed processed meat on the American breakfast table. The United States has imposed no warning labels, no nitrite restrictions, and no additive reassessment since that classification. Each 50 grams of processed meat consumed daily increases colorectal cancer risk by 18%. BHA was last reviewed for safety in 1977. The EU set stricter nitrite limits. France confirmed the cancer link, and over 500,000 French citizens signed petitions demanding a nitrite ban. Traditional European producers have made bacon without synthetic nitrites for centuries. Ractopamine, a growth promoter used in American pork, is banned in 160 countries. The meat processing industry has spent over $97 million on lobbying since 1998. Smithfield Foods, the world's largest pork processor and the producer of multiple bacon brands, is owned by a Chinese multinational. Products labeled no nitrates added often contain equivalent or higher nitrate levels from celery juice, and there is no federal limit on quantity. Turkey bacon, marketed as a healthier alternative, contains the same nitrites and the same carcinogenic pathway. Artificial bacon products like McCormick Bacon Pieces contain zero bacon. The United States Department of Agriculture allows all of this in the product that Americans eat, 18 pounds per person per year, with no warning, no restriction, and no reassessment. Every package of conventional bacon purchased funds the next lobbying campaign, the next year without a warning label, the next decade without nitrite restriction. The system permits known carcinogen precursors in your breakfast because the industry that profits from them has spent nearly $100 million ensuring that the system never changes. Legal does not mean safe. The World Health Organization says it causes cancer, and the United States Department of Agriculture says enjoy your breakfast.